Welcome to the JP8 Report. This is James Pierce coming to you from the JP8 Report, episode 70. Episode 70. When in a deep hole, stop digging. Welcome to the report today. And as a friendly reminder, like usual, don't forget, if you're watching this, please subscribe. And if you're watching and you're a regular viewer, thank you very much. 70 episodes. After this one done, it's 70 episodes. So if you're tuning in, you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, whether it be on here or YouTube or Podbean, okay? So when in a hole, stop digging. So what I mean by that is these Democrats out there, national Democrats, even state Democrats, they think they're winning. And I don't know why they think they're winning, but they think they're winning. But you just look at what's going on nationally, and even in the state of Texas, there is no way the Democrats are winning. They may say so. I guess you got to put up a good game to show your game face to make it look like you're winning, but they're not. Okay. This past weekend, the White House was caught blindsided. Senator Joe Manchin, he said he is a no vote on the Build Back Better plan. And as soon as he said that, and it was on Fox News Sunday, the very first episode that was broadcast without Chris Wallace as the moderator for the show, because he had quit a week prior, so they had Brett Baer on, and his first interview was Joe Manchin, and they came out. Joe Manchin said, "I am a no vote. There's no way I could justify explaining this to the people of West Virginia," and he's right, because that bill would utterly just completely destroy the state of West Virginia, especially with the economic stuff that was built into it. The left and the squad went epileptic about it. They went crazy. Even they were calling them racist. They were calling them traitor, treasonous for the stuff that he's elected by the people of West Virginia, and you have people in there, they're like, they thought his loyalties lied to his party, not to his state. He's not nationally elected. He's elected by the voters of West Virginia. And I guess some of these people forgot different, you had AOC saying there's more people in her district than there are in all of West Virginia. She can't count. She still needs to go back and she needs to get a refund from that economics degree she has from, I believe it was Brown. Okay? I believe. I could be wrong. But over and over again, you had people had not a clue about what politics about, don't know about the Constitution, don't know. It's a bill on Capitol Hill. They need to read this. It got so bad, okay, that there's rumors that he was being welcomed into the Republican Party. Honestly, I think he should try, but I don't see him actually doing that. Even though the vast majority of his state has become a Republican stonewall, okay? It's totally up to him what he wants to do and stuff. But I don't actually see him actually becoming a Republican. But I heard an interview yesterday with Congressman Van Drew from New Jersey. That man, if you don't know who he is, 2 years ago, in 2017, I believe, or 2018, he converted to be to a Republican from the Democrat Party in New Jersey. He ran for re-election, and he's been reelected twice as a Republican. He knows what he's talking about. So if Manchin decided he wanted to become a Republican, he'd be widely accepted. He may not be as conservative as most people want Republicans to be, but that's a starting point. Okay, and I bet some of the views he's held have been Democratic views and not his personal views. I'm sure he's changed. Chuck Schumer, after all this transpired, even said it ain't over with yet. Okay, him and several other people are insistent that next year they're going to either do away with the filibuster or change the filibuster up to where it's not even recognizable anymore. I mean, I know for a fact that the filibuster is not in the Constitution, but it was incorporated into the Senate rules to prevent the majority, the tyranny of the majority, and gave rights to a minority. It's to slow down the process of legislation in the Congress to protect the rights of American citizens, so we don't rush legislation through without understanding the consequences of said legislation. Because, I've heard it multiple times from Speaker Pelosi that you have to pass a bill before you can find out what's in the bill. Yeah, that's a total lie. To me, the Constitution, I got some stuff on my book with the Constitution in it, so I can't lift it up. To me, what the bill says is what the bill says. You should never write legislation that's open for interpretation. So you pass a bill, give it to one of the departments inside the executive branch, and let them implement it in their own view. Bills should be written literally. If it says in the bill you can collect $20.23 from said American for this service, you know what? That's what you better be collecting. $20.23, I think that's what it said, for said service, not, well, they meant $20.23, but we're going to do $23.20. I don't play the game. Interpretation is no. The implied intent is not existent. It should be what's in the bill is what's in the bill. The budget reconciliation package that goes through where they can open up the budget. I do believe that needs to be reformed, because being on a city council before, and even in my college that I represent, I do know you have to amend your budget. That's a budget reconciliation, okay? And plus, we're already past the end of the fiscal year, so I don't even know how they could do it again. Everything should be incorporated into the existing budget. So, if you're going to amend your budget, it should only be amended on the line items that are already in there, not add to the existing budget. Because the existing budget has already been approved. How can you legitimately add stuff to that existing year budget without it going through, especially the committee process? Like I was just saying a while ago, yeah, it's only a bill on Capitol Hill. People need to listen to Schoolhouse Rock, okay? They don't understand that, the person recommends a bill. It goes before a committee. Well, it gets a sponsor or sponsors. It goes before a committee. It's voted out of committee. It goes before the House. It gets seconded. It's opened up for debate. If it passes muster and gets signed off as a bill passed in the House, it goes over to the Senate. It goes through committee process. It gets voted out of committee. It goes before the Senate. They debate it. They pass it, or they don't. Well, if they pass it, it goes, if it's exactly not the same language as the House version, they go into conference. They work out their differences, and then bills go back to the House and the Senate. They vote, yay or nay. If both sides say yay, it goes before the president. President can sign it, or he can veto it, or he can wait for 14 days and it automatically becomes law. Or if he vetoes it, he goes back before the Senate, goes before the House, and they can attempt to override. It takes 2/3 vote. Okay? That's easy. I mean, I could have sang the whole song, I guess. But the Democrats are intent on, they want to do it their way and circumvent traditions, rules, regulations, and even the Constitution. These guys, they want to end the filibuster so in January they can try again on the elections reform bill, because they want to go against the United States Constitution and nationalize elections, which is wrong. They can try it, and if they somehow pass it, it'll be overturned in the United States Supreme Court. These guys are they want to add 150 congressional seats to the House of Representatives. So to go from 435, or technically 438, and add 150 to that, so it would take it 588 representatives, 585 voting reps. So that would take the Electoral College to 685 electoral votes, which ain't going to matter to a hill of beans, because the Republicans will take that many more seats, and they don't understand that. They think the more the number, the easier it is. It ain't going to work. They still want to pack the Supreme Court. They want to end voter ID. They want everything that the Republicans want, the Democrats hate. All the Democrats want to do is social spin, social spin, social spin. I would not doubt if by chance, by a miracle, they somehow hold on to the House and Senate, that they would try to defund parts of the Department of Defense and take those added savings and shift it over to social spending. Throw money around. Does pretty much buying votes. Okay? They think they can pay off someone, and they'll remember when it comes to election day, do you remember that tax credit I gave you because you're lower income? I did that for you, so vote for me. Instead of, I did this and this and this because it was the right thing to do. And it's not going to cost taxpayers that much more money, because as you are listening, if you're not paying taxes, you are paying taxes, because those people that own businesses are going to have to raise their prices on the products you buy from them, so we can pay those guys taxes. Believe it or not, that's exactly how it works. Okay? They still, let's see, what's the next one I was going to talk. If you look at poll numbers, right now the poll numbers are very terrible for Biden and Harris and Democrats. Their numbers are all underwater. Even you look at the generic ballot for the Congress, it's like a 7 or 8 point spread right now between Democrats and Republicans. That means landslide when it comes to next year's midterm elections. In terms of immigration and inflation and debt, the economy, even COVID, this last variant that's out, they're saying they got caught flat-footed. What in the world are we paying the CDC and all these other agencies inside the government. What are we paying them the money for? If they're not anticipating things happen. I mean, I understand back 2 years ago when everything happened and President Trump said, we got to flatten the curve. Didn't say nothing about ending the infection because it's got to die its way out. But these guys, they said they were caught off guard by what was going on. They should have been completely ready. That's all they've been saying for a whole year. We'll be ready for the next one. We'll be ready for the next one. You know what? More people have died under President Biden than they have died under President Trump of this stupid virus. Okay? Remember that, people, when you go in and vote. When they lie to you and say, we conquered the virus. Yeah, at the cost of how many Americans that you did that died because of stupidness you did before the election. And you went off on President Trump and the Republicans and you and your vice president or Vice President Harris. If President Trump developed the vaccine, we'll have nothing to do with it. But at the same time, they said that on open air for everybody to hear. And what did they do? They got the vaccine. But they sowed the seed of discontent in so many Americans. And it doesn't matter if they were even Republican or Democrat, because both people had doubts about the vaccine. And they chose not to take it. How many minorities that don't trust government heard that and didn't get the vaccine yet? I see people riding around. They're scared to death. They're riding around in cars by themselves with a mask on. Or they'll be walking down the street with their dog. Nobody around them at all. And they're wearing masks. They're afraid. I mean, there's no need for it. Immigration. Poll numbers are way down because of unrestricted immigration coming through Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. Lock, stock, and barrel, there are Hispanics voting Republican now because the Democrat Party has abandoned them and won't listen to them. And we keep telling them about the situation on the southern border, and they won't do nothing, and these guys just stream through the border. If you didn't know, Department of Homeland Security authorized some of those vast warehouse yards full of the fence that was being put up during the Trump administration to take some of that, install it to fill in some of the gaps that are supposed to already been filled up, because one, we need more security, and I guess two, it looks a little bit better. They said not one single mile of new fence will be put in outside of filling in the gaps. I'm sure that coyotes out there and the cartel guys have already thought about all that. And they're still sending streams of people across, and then that's their diversion, and then they'll force their gangbangers and drug dealers that go across into other sections. I'm sure of that. Inflation, the wholesale price index, the wholesale year-over-year inflation rate went to 9.8%, and the CPI is at 6.7% or 6.9%. It's getting more expensive to live inside the United States. But, no big deal, right? We're just going to get reelected. That's what the Democrats say. They just keep digging and digging and digging. I don't understand why they think the way they do. The president yesterday said that if he's in good health, he's going to run for re-election. That man will be 83 years old when it comes to running for re-election. Maybe he can do it. Maybe President Trump can do it. You'll probably see a rematch between Trump and Biden. or maybe Trump and Harris. Well, how about this one? Trump and Clinton. And be rematched in 2016. Who else is out there? Who else do the Democrats have that might be good enough to run for a president in 2024 if Biden and Harris don't run? Gavin Newsom? I don't think so. I don't think so. Sarah, the Abrams lady. I can't remember her name. I should have wrote it down. But there is nobody out there that would be eligible to run for president. Here in Texas, we got, depending on who the Republicans choose for governor, be running against whoever the Democrats choose, and it looks like it's favored toward Robert Francis O'Rourke. But what does he stand for? He's trying to pick out stuff that Governor Abbott's done that he didn't like, but he's failing to realize he spent over $100 million on election campaigns in Texas and failed. He wants, whatever you think about Governor Abbott or West or Huffines or Prather or the other people that are running for governor, you got to remember, Beto, he is for raising our taxes to pay for more social stuff in Texas. But most important, he is against the Second Amendment. That man will stop our building of the border wall. He will stop us being able to own rifles and handguns. If he's against that, I know he's got to be against open carry also. I'm going to have to look at that one. He's a joke. He is a total joke. And I can't believe he's actually thinking about being the nominee for the Democrats for governor. And there's a whole slew of them out there. You just gotta. What was it? There's one Democrat. I was on Facebook last night, and there's one Democrat. Oh man. Oh wait a minute. I got my list right here. I can tell you right quick. Let's see. Oh, Angel Vega. He's running for comptroller against Glenn Hager. Okay. This cat puts out a Facebook post, a sponsored Facebook post, telling people why he wants to be the comptroller. And I'm like, oh yeah, look at this. A loser Democrat. I'm going to respond back. I'll put, stop stealing Texas tax dollars. And I put hashtag keep Texas red. And I hit enter, right? Now just notice on the picture of him running for the Texas comptroller spot, he puts in his little header for Facebook, it still said U.S. Congressman, U.S. candidate for U.S. Congress. Dude, I guess you're a professional campaigner because you didn't even remember to change your own Facebook header. So which are you running for? The comptroller seat, or are you run for U.S. Congress? Because whoever's controlling your social media, or your campaign advisor, you need to fire them because they're incompetent. But I guess most Democrats are like that anyway. Okay, and that was just something I saw last time. Like I came across my Facebook and who is this guy? And I start reading. Oh, he's a Democrat. And I saw, after I entered that, I saw that additional information on there. And like, I was telling my daughter about that. We're just shaking our head. This is ridiculous. We got amateur hour in Democrat politics running against the professional Republicans. I guarantee you, mark my word, when it comes to November next year, there'll be a whole lot of Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives, a few more senators that are Republican, and in Texas, if we don't hit 100 again, we're going to hit it again. And talking about running unopposed, I ran into Shelby Slauson. We did a ballot draw here in Coryell County the other day, where after the filing season ends, you get everybody together, and every county determines the placement of your name on the ballot. Okay, so so we all met in Gatesville. And I was telling people I formed the Coppers Cove Conservative Club. So if you're watching this and you want to join it, go to it. You can see it. You can request to be added. We'll put you in there. But we're just now getting started. But we're in there, and we're getting ready to start a meeting with the ballot draw. And we saw the SD 24 candidates. We saw Pete Flores and Raul Reyes. They were there. We saw U.S. Congressional District 31. We saw one of their candidates for the Republicans, Mike Williams. We saw those were the big names, because we had the candidates for county judge there. We saw the candidates for Commissioner 2 and Commissioner 4 there. I was there. We had a guy from WCID, Dale Treadway. He was there too. But right before it all was going to begin, Shelby Slauson, State Representative, House District 59, walks through the door, and she was so happy that we're still going to put some signs up for her, but she doesn't have to spend a single dime for election, because she drew no primary candidate. And she said that, what did she tell me? It's the first time since 1994 there's never been a primary contest in House District 59. And she did it. And remember, she's a freshman in politics. This is her first 2 years as a state representative, and she doesn't have Democratic opposition, and she didn't have any Republican competition, which is great. But she was so excited about it. She was so excited. And then last Saturday, when I did my last live Rumble Live for this year, because I'm going to start back up in January, Dwayne Tipton, he's a Republican candidate for Railroad Commission. I did an interview with him, and the response from that live broadcast, I usually get about 10 to 15 people to watch a podcast, including lives. Well, as of this morning, and it is the 23rd of December, we had 67 views of that Rumble Live, because of that interview with Mr. Tipton. Unbelievable response. Thank you to everybody that watched it. That was awesome. Okay. And then what else I want to tell you real quick? Oh yeah, President Trump said that. Trump says he's going to have some type of speech on January 6th of 2022. So, but there was no details about it. Alrighty. So I'm going to sign off. I'm almost at the 30-minute mark. So I want to thank everybody that's done this with me throughout the whole year, 70 episodes. I might do a couple episodes next week. Day after tomorrow's Christmas. I'm trying to calm down a little bit, take a little bit of time off. Or, like I said, that the lives won't be until the first full week of January, and I haven't made a decision. I know I ain't going to cut one on Saturday. I know that. But I got some time next week. I might cut a couple of them. Depends on what's going on in D.C. and Texas, or maybe Coppers Cove. Alrighty. So, wish everyone a Merry Christmas. I will talk to y'all later. And this is James Pierce with the JP8 Report. And I will catch you on the flip side. Talk to you later. And I am